Guys, we have to understand the significance of God's design within a family relationship. It's imperative that we understand this in the very best way that I can honestly show you this. I've always told you that we can go to every societal problem we have and we can show the societal problem is a basis where we have violated God's principles. And as I've pointed out many times before, guys, the only explanation whatsoever that we have for the inner city just destruction. I mean, you've got horrible things with gangs, with violence. You've got horrible stuff with incarceration. I don't know, but over 50% of all people in jail are black males. And it's like, wait, they only represent 6% of our population. How did that happen? You've got the situation where you've got horrible promiscuity among the women in the inner city. All this stuff, and guys, the only answer to that is fatherless families. Sometimes people say, oh no, it's poverty. First of all, I already talked about poverty in America and how the people that are the very poorest in our nation are richer than by far most nations on the earth. So there's that aspect. But it's not just poverty, because we have other ethnic groups that have great poverty. Like there are a variety from India, and yet we do not see anywhere close to that level of incarceration, gangs, all the different stuff from the continent of India people. And one of the reasons is they tend to have intact families. So the reality is fatherlessness is a problem, and it's huge. Now, so is motherlessness. All right, that's a problem as well. What we get back to is God's design for the family is very clear. And one of the things that's important when you ask, okay, what kind of a relationship should dad have with the kids? First of all, guys, you have to understand that women are intuitively, and as far as also with the right brain orientation that they have, are better typically at relationships in one way. Meaning that they tend, in the Bible, it actually talks about this, it talks about women are nurturing, they are caring, they are supportive, etc. So that's a positive. The negative side is many times they go too far on that. Meaning by that they are overly nurturing. They can create a mama's boy. They can create a variety of things. And that's actually what you see happening in the inner city. They don't know how to be men. And so the reality is the way that we become the two become one flesh is men and women, they actually complete each other, because by coming together with the right brain orientation, the men on the left brain orientation, and being able to do that, we have the opportunity to be able to balance each other to do this relationship well. That's how it's supposed to be. And so that's why a mom will freak out many times if a child gets hurt, and the dad's response is to look up from his sports program and go, is he bleeding? Okay, he's good. There's a little bit, there's just a whole different perspective on how things are. Because of that, dads tend to make their kids tougher, all right? Moms tend to be more sympathetic to some of the things that the kids go through. Both of those can be taken too far and mess everything up. And that's why God's design is a mom and a dad and kids. That's his design, and that's how we need to go with that. So the relationship is this. First of all through, whenever we talk about discipline in the Bible, it's interesting that God always says the Father. That the Father is the one for discipline. And I told a story yesterday about when my mom first figured out that the discipline thing wasn't working out so well, when my brother and I were caught laughing right after she spanked us and joking about how it didn't really even hurt. Biggest mistake of my life, man, because that's when she started, just wait till your father gets home. All right, and changed my whole life at that point, because everything, but there was a reality. She just couldn't pull that off anymore, make that work. So the discipline aspect, guys, in the same way we would look at God, and we can love God, but we also understand a good, healthy, and it's important, guys, a fear of the Lord. It's a level of respect, when done correctly, a level of respect that goes, I do not want to mess with him. God is clear about that. Our new song that we just did, all right, the whole concept is prepare to meet your God, because you don't want this. All right, you want me to be proud of you. You want my arms wide open when you show up, because this isn't going to be good. Guys, I've done that with every one of my kids. I just did it with Duke yesterday. I'm kidding, I didn't really. He's a grown man, all right? He needs to do it. But the reality is, I've done it with all of them. I've done it with all of them, and that fear in their eye, guys, that's not a bad thing. They need to understand, don't mess with dad. So that's a relationship that needs to be there. Having said that, my kids have never questioned how much I love them. And so the balance of being able to do that is a very important thing. Now, I hate to rehash, but I want to go back to something real quick. Yesterday, first service, we had a question where I'm assuming, this is how it typically would go, a mom said that the dad does the discipline thing, but he goes too far, and how do I talk to him about this, or how I handle it? And I pointed out a very important concept, all right? And that is, I said, first of all, I don't know the whole story here, but I need you to understand, you first of all need to make sure you're not the problem. I said, I'm assuming it's a mom here, and the problem is this: you have a tendency to be soft and caring and nurturing, and so because of that, you can actually allow rebellion. Now, here's the key, guys, don't miss this. The Bible says rebellion is supposed to be met with the rod. It's supposed to be met with the spanking type thing, okay? That's what rebellion, okay? So what happens is, if in fact, say the mom is trying, oh, let's not yet, oh, let's not yet, oh, let's not yet, oh, they'll do better next time, whatever it may be, what happens is, because we have utilized spanking, a corporal punishment, we've used it as a last resort, because the mom keeps saying, oh, not yet, not yet, not yet, instead of a first response. Corporal punishment is a first response to rebellion. The end result is, by the time you're spanking, the dad is mad. If that's happening, you're doing this. Now, I said the other side is, if he's just got a bad temper, all right? The Bible says, be angry, but do not sin. All right? So anger isn't the problem. How we respond to it is. Then we have to deal with the issue of temper, and that probably is going to be seen in lots of areas of his life, not just that. But there is a classic problem that comes in there, where in the process of doing what we need to do, we're not listening to God. Rebellion does not get a timeout. Rebellion doesn't get a, no, shame on you. Rebellion is met immediately with corporal punishment, and that's the end. And here's why that's important. Because you're not mad yet. But if you let it happen over and over and over, by the time you say as a last resort, you're probably going to do it wrong. And now you're into another biblical problem, and that is the Bible says not to exasperate our children because they just feel like they can't win. All right? Now you've gone a wrong direction. So I just want to make sure we understand that relationship that we're supposed to have, guys. It's very clear from God's perspective, both the male and the female. And remember, husbands and wives, all the locations, you're supposed to help each other in the inadequacies you have. And we all have inadequacies. All right, and so because of that, like, Kim makes me warmer. She makes me see clearly the incredible value of the family, all the different things that are there. I help her understand the principles when we need to step in, when it might be uncomfortable to have to do all that. You're supposed to work together. That's how the relationship is supposed to be, and so it's key. Now, guys, dads are not more important than moms, and moms are not more important than dads. We've shown that. We've done, unfortunately, a very poor job doing that within the inner city to see very, very clearly where we need to be. So please, the concept of God's family, don't violate God's principles. Get that clear in your life. It'll change your life. And it'll change your children's life and that next generation and the difference you get to make with them. Took place there. But I want you to understand